will double in the next 2 years. And the rate at which knowledge is created is increasing. We are now using artificial intelligence tools to annotate and produce new knowledge. Machines can do this faster and better than humans in certain contexts now, and these will become better in the future. When I was studying computer science, we learned C, PL1, COBOL, Pascal languages. We learned about databases like DB2 and IMS. We learned operating systems like OS 370 and Unix. Probably most of you don't recognize any of these things. It was expected that these will be in use for many years to come. You are today learning languages like Python, PHP, Swift, Ruby, etc. The operating systems that are relevant today are also different: Windows, iOS, Mac OS, etc. Things change very rapidly in the field of computer science, and since computers are used in every other field, you have to revise your knowledge every 3 to 5 years. With Internet of Things proliferating, you will have processors with operating system embedded in all kinds of things, and computing would be everywhere, ubiquitous and invisible computing. With AI and ML, the way we use computers are also changing. Previously, the model of computing that was used was about figuring out the way the problem can be solved. That means you write the algorithm, then convert the algorithm into a computer program and feed this into a computer. The computer follows the program and solves the problem when you give inputs. You are limited to a class of problems for which you already know the algorithms to solve the problems. Can you explain how we recognize faces? Can you write an algorithm for this? These are not solved using traditional models. With AI and ML, you train a computer just like you would train a child. You give the machine as much curated input data as possible based on the context and specify the correct outputs that you're looking for. The computer figures out the algorithm or the program to transform the inputs into the correct answers. Hence, even if we do not know how the inputs are transformed into outputs, we can now use machines for these tasks. For example, computers have become much better than humans in recognizing faces. 97% accuracy, and computers can recognize millions of faces and associate these with names provided these are available a priori. In narrow areas like computation, pattern recognition, sorting large amounts of data, doing repetitive tasks, etc., computers have become or are already becoming better than humans. It's postulated that sometime in the future, computers will become better than humans in many of the tasks that we humans do. This is very much the world that you are going to live in, since we have seen early signs of these situations. More and more of the tasks and jobs that are done by humans can be done better by a computer in the future. In such a scenario, how do you stay relevant? Let me illustrate these by 2 examples from healthcare. Niramai's AI and ML platform is a low-cost, accurate, automated, portable breast cancer screening tool that can be operated by medical support staff. The core technology is an AI/ML-led diagnostic platform that uses patented thermal image processing and machine learning algorithms for reliable and accurate breast cancer screening. This can be used as a cancer diagnosis test in hospitals and used for regular preventive health checkups and also for large-scale screening in rural and semi-urban areas. So clearly, a lot of things that required an expert is now taken over by the machine. SIGTEPL is building an AI/ML platform to provide healthcare solutions by detecting different diseases. The platform analyzes medical images and data from peripheral blood smears, urine microscopy, optical coherence tomography scans, and chest X-rays to aid diagnosis. Now, solutions like septuples that can aid diagnosis increase the productivity of doctors and translates into more time for doctors to attend the in-need patients. It also reduces the time taken for preparing diagnostic results and provides the ability for stepwise screening of patients to prevent an overload on the existing diagnostic infrastructure in India. Automotive industry is already testing driverless cars and trucks, and these use AI and ML extensively to train the next generation of vehicles. Now, what do these mean for you? Looking back, I was lucky to be at the right place at the right time. Birth to the personal computing, which got introduced in 1978. That's when I entered the computer science field. I was lucky to make my profession in computer science and ride the digital computing wave. Personally and professionally, I benefited enormously from this. I was part of building a computer industry in India and the world, as part of, as was mentioned, the founding team at Infosys. You have to find your wave to ride on. And there are many waves that we can see in the horizon. Technologies that are disrupting the world are many today. 3D printing can disrupt manufacturing and services industries. Autonomous driving can disrupt transportation and logistics industries. IoT and gene editing can disrupt the healthcare industry. New fintech platforms like Aadhaar and UPI are disrupting financial services industry. And AI ML can add to the disruption of all these industries. If I was asked in 1979 to project forward and imagine the world in 2019, I would not have been able to predict many of the technologies that are being used today. Similarly, it's impossible to predict which of these technologies will have significant impact in our lives in the future and in what time frame. But it's clear that driven by these innovations, the world is changing faster and it will continue to change in your lifetime. Can you drive these changes? Can you take advantage of these disruptions? There is an opportunity in front of each one of you. Quoting the legendary Jedi Master in the movie Star Wars, "Let the Force be with you." Now, how can you ensure that the Force is on your side? What are the secrets? So you need to choose an industry sector that's changing fast to work in. With the pace and quantum of new knowledge that is being created, you need to commit to lifelong learning. With tasks becoming more complex, you need to commit to working in teams and take on leadership roles. You need to leverage technology and tools to complete these complex tasks. You have to master emerging technologies. You need to love, in fact, flourish in solving complex problems that the world still faces. You need to learn to design beautiful and sustainable solutions to solve these complex problems. You need to believe in yourself and that you are on a mission to change the world for better. You need to select the best icons to emulate in your life, leaders that have changed the world. Quoting Steve Jobs, "The people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." Let me end with another great quote from Steve Jobs. "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Do not settle."